Welcome to Ask Swagelok. I'm your host, Craig Gifford, here today with Brian Roderi, who is Swagelok's Associate Market Manager for Oil, Gas, and Chemical. And today we're unpacking JIP33, which is the oil and gas industry specification. So Brian, for those that are new to the industry, what is JIP33 and S716, and what problems are those certifications trying to solve?
Sure, and happy to be here, Craig. So JIP33 is an industry-led standardization program that was developed by the IOGP. And the main goal of this is to streamline and align technical specifications on major capital projects.
Okay.
What this is meant to do is really make sure that as organizations are procuring and engineering a lot of these common systems, they're working to an aligned standard across the globe.
Okay.
So where S716 fits in is that's the specific standard that governs the use and design of small bore tubing and fittings.
What are the core requirements of S716, and how does that relate to this intermix and interchange issue?
So as a whole, Craig, S716 is really going to govern the design and use of small bore tubing and fittings. And one of the largest changes that this specification brings is that as a practice, it's prohibiting the intermixing and interchanging of tube fittings from different manufacturers.
Okay.
It's important to note that Swagelok has always advocated against intermixing and interchanging. And by the IOGP recognizing this, it really shows that the industry is paying close attention to those practices out in the field that can impact consistency and quality when these packages are being built on large capital projects.
Great. What level of competency and training are required of installers so they can be compliant to S716?
Training is a really important part of the specification, Craig, and really the backbone of what JIP33 relies on for competence within the field. So the scope of training is that those who are installing and working with these small bore systems are to receive training about the entire tubing and fitting system from the tube fitting manufacturer.
Okay.
That's a really important distinction. The manufacturer has to provide that training. And what that has to turn into is that those folks interfacing with these systems have to demonstrate competency with respect to assembling, inspecting, and remaking the fittings are out in the field. They also have to acknowledge and recognize the prohibited practice that S716 talks about, which is you cannot intermix and interchange fittings of different manufacturers.
Okay. So I'm assuming manufacturers like Swagelok can help the installers kind of learn more and stay compliant. How can Swagelok help support in this area?
So Swagelok can help in a few ways. We can provide installer training and certification programs to help those organizations, those owners, and those installers keep track of who's been trained to Swagelok standards. We can help with installation best practices and technical guidance out in the field with our experts globally.
Great.
And we can also provide documentation, tools, and other resources that are aligned to the needs of S716.
Fantastic. How do the gaps between what is documented for the S716 requirements and what installers are seeing day to day in the field vary? And how does that impact project outcomes?
It's really a great question, Craig, and the first thing we have to recognize is that the environments where these major capital projects are happening are quite challenging, especially to keep everything in line that these people are going to need to finish and complete these projects on time. So often what we see gaps happening is really around consistency, quality, safety. All those things are going to get in the way that will start to erode some of the best practices being outlined in S716 and jeopardizing the on-time delivery of some of these projects in different packages. Where Swagelok can help and what the industry is going to be looking for is really partnering with organizations that can help ensure that those gaps get shored up quickly. So people who can provide the training that will ensure that their installers are working with the right small bore tubing systems, following the best practices, even things like procurement, supply chain, having those things on site, available, or having a plan to provide them when they're running short on stock components. Those are all going to be critical enablers to help those practices mandated in S716 become reality.
Great. Well, Brian, thank you for sharing your knowledge on this subject. And thank you for joining us at Ask Swagelok.